Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Tal Schnell. We are live right now on Customer Service TV, but I have a special guest for you. Today is December 1st. Think about it, 30 more days in the month. We start a new year. And I thought about a guest, someone who's really going to inspire you, someone who's going to elevate you for 2017. And I've been a big fan of hers. Kelly Roach is with us. She's our guest. Kelly, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
Great, great, great. And one of the reasons I thought, who can talk to us about goals and strategies and how to scale up your business? Many of you guys are entrepreneurs, leaders in your business. So instead of scratching your head and be putting a lot of stuff on the board, let's hear from someone who's done it, who's actually doing that for a living. She is a success coach. She's coaching CEOs. She's starting startup entrepreneurs, and she's a success story of herself. So, Kelly, tell us briefly about yourself. I know you've taken quite a bit of a journey to get to where you are. So, share with us that story with our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I started my professional career working for a Fortune 500. I actually started in sales myself, and then, was very quickly promoted into management. I was able to get promoted 7 times in my first 8 years with the company. And my entire career was built on coaching and teaching and training people how to effectively market themselves, how to make sales, how to close key clients, how to charge what they're worth and get it. And I just have a huge passion for helping people succeed. And I really just got to a place where I realized for me that the only place I was going to be able to bring together my core values, the things most important to me, which are freedom and fulfillment and, financial abundance, was really going to be in starting my own business. So, I took that passion that I love to do with it, which is business growth strategy and helping people to achieve freedom, to make lots of money, and to have fun doing it, and started Kelly Roach Coaching. So, now we focus on selling online courses and running online coaching programs and doing private consulting with both individuals and organizations to help them create 6 and 7 figure leaps in their profitability.
Amazing, amazing. And I do want to plug in if you are one of those geeks who pops in a podcast while you're driving to the gym or work, that would be me. The Unstoppable Radio podcast is something that you have to subscribe because Kelly is continuously adding value through the podcast and some of her YouTube video channel. And there's some great things because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding value to you today. So you are in a treat. This is a treat for you. This is a holiday time. We're in the spirit of giving, and we want to connect with people that such as yourself because many of us are, it's that time of the year. So you're either in the blues mode or you're really pumped up and ready to, there's like 4 weeks coming up and then you're needing to sharpen that focus. Kelly, I wanted to ask you because you work with so many people and truthfully, your passion speaks volume. You're really passionate about what you do and you're definitely adding value every single day. We were just talking before the show about some of the things you're working on and how much you're adding value. But many of us on that phase. So, what do you suggest? Maybe a perspective, obviously. How do we mentally or sharpen our focus for the next 4 weeks? We really want to start off the year pumped up, inspired. What is your perspective on that?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first and foremost, I think that a lot of people have gone through the cycle of setting big goals, come January 1st and not seeing them through and not accomplishing them. And over the years, that can really wear down your excitement and it can put some, it can dampen your light a little bit.
Hmm.
And so I think it's really important for people to understand why and how goals are met and why and how goals are not met, and really make a distinction between what do you need to do differently over the next 30 days to make sure that you are going to have things be different this year. You're going to achieve that big goal. You're going to create that big breakthrough. And the way I would describe what you need to be doing in the month of December is intense concentration.
Hmm.
It is a time of really getting yourself mentally, physically, and psychologically prepared for the new year. But it's a time of intense intense concentration, because anything that you expect to be working for you or happening in your business next year to achieve those big goals you have, you really have to be getting in place now. If you don't start something until the new year, everything has a time delay and everything has a period of ramp up time and innovation and testing and trial and error that it takes to actually get it working. And that's why most people give up on their goals, because by the time they start them and they begin to even get into a position to potentially see results, it's halfway through the year. Right. And
Right.
so, one of the things that I teach in my program is we started preparing in July in my company for our goal this year. We've committed to adding $1 million in growth in Kelly Roach coaching this year. And we've been working since July to put all of the things in place that will be required in order to make that goal come to fruition, because there is a time delay. So I think it's really breaking down your goals and saying, what is it going to take to accomplish this? And truly understanding not only kind of the big milestones within that goal, but what are the daily actions, the daily systems, the daily procedures and policies, the daily, things that need to be working all day, every day for you in your business in order to make that goal a reality and get them in place now.
Right. Now, I think I agree with that. I think that many people think the 10,000 feet, but they really need to break it down more specifically. How does that look like for them every single day? Is that what you were referring to?
And that's the big disconnect, right? Because, what happens is people look at that big goal and it's so overwhelming and it's so big and it's so hard to figure out what can you do today that's actually going to make a difference, that you end up giving up. And what you have to realize is every big goal is achieved through a series of consistent, frequent, and repetitive actions, most of which are very, very small and manageable. And they can be done every single day. And over a period of stringing those days together, that's how you do make progress on those big goals. So, most people don't take it to the point of breaking them down effectively. And so they kind of have this sense of almost being frozen and overwhelmed because they don't see anything in front of them that they can do right here, right now to impact the goal. And that might be true, but you can do a series of activities that will lead you to that first milestone. And then you get to the first milestone and you come up with the activities you need to do to get to the next milestone. And then you just continue on progressing from there.
Oh, that's great, and I think that would be a great either a podcast or a video for you, because I think that many people need some assistance on how do I, I've got the big goals now. I'm ready to start the year inspired, but now there's those little mechanics, the habits, if you will, of how do we. The other night I was watching something about the rich habits, and these are the habits. This guy interviewed 233. Millionaires, and he broke it down. And one of the main things is exactly what you're saying: break those goals down, break those habits down, those specifics that really need to be part, right?
Exactly. It's so important. You have to know what it is that you can control. And you have to get clear on what it is that you can take action on right here, right now, that is going to make a difference, that is going to allow you to make progress. And that takes some quiet time and some thinking. And most people are so busy moving and taking action and doing so many different things, more things than they need to be, that they're not actually. And that's why I said December is a time of intense concentration, because you actually need to be using your brain and thinking these things through and treating it like it's a puzzle. And your job is to figure out what each of the puzzle pieces are, and then build a routine in which you can pull those puzzle pieces together into a cohesive big picture that allows you to get on pace to achieve those big goals.
That's wonderful. Great piece of advice. So let's talk a little bit about, obviously, let me mention your book. Obviously, that's how we get to know each other too. And the book is called Unstoppable: 9 Principles for Unlimited Success in Business and Life. And guys, for those of you who are watching and know me, I'm a my apartment needs some new shelves for new books, and that's how intense I am about my reading. And so actually, first time I listened to this was with Jeff Brown on Lead to Read, and that's how I kind of immersed myself with this book, and great stuff. So for our audience, you can get it through Amazon, pretty much anywhere, the Unstoppable 9 Principles for Unlimited Success in Business and Life. Guys, this is not a feel-good kind of a book that you read for like 30 minutes so you can get pumped up for the day. These are really strategies, mindset, and really good stuff that I know I went through it at least reading that 5 times in
Mhm.
order for me to be successful. So let's talk about that and share with our audience. You talk about financial abundance, and I want you to think for our audience. Many people think in this realm. Yes, I want to be rich and I want to be wealthy, but talk to us about that. What does that mean, and how does one really? How do we get that right mindset in terms of that?
Yeah, definitely. So the vast majority of us all grew up with really negative belief systems around money, whether it was conscious or subconscious. It's just kind of the way that things are, right? And we also don't grow up with really true money literacy and a good understanding of kind of how money works. I mean, it's energy. There's unlimited and infinite money available to all of us. One person winning doesn't mean another person loses. And you're not a greedy person if you want to make more money and be wealthy and be rich.
Right.
In fact, one of the most important things I learned on my journey is that my ability to help people, my ability to make a positive impact in the world directly correlates with how much money I make, because you have to be able to invest and donate and give of yourself in order to help others and make a difference. And so those two things are directly correlated. But I think, getting your money mindset right really begins with understanding that your money beliefs can be changed at any time. The
Hmm.
beliefs that you have, or the values that were passed down to you, or the habits that you currently have are probably not ones that you chose for yourself. They're
Right.
probably ones that you took on from someone else, not intentionally or strategically, but just because that's kind of what was the messaging that was given to you. And so I think
Right.
the first step is creating a new set of money beliefs, a new set of money systems, a new set of money affirmations, and really resetting the clock and creating a clean slate for yourself on, hey, this might have been this person's mindset that passed this on to me, or, this might have been the circumstances or situation that I came from, but I get to create and I get to choose what I want that to look like from this point forward.
Right. No, and that's very true. And I think that some of us, I don't know if it's our society or the media that yes, I mean we definitely want to think from an abundance standpoint, and then there's like there's really great opportunities. By the way, if you want to connect with Kelly, we'll do that later part, is that she will show you some of the things, because a lot of us have that desire, but we need a plan, we need a blueprint, we need a strategy, all these things we were talking about earlier. And Kelly can definitely be that right person for you. So, but let's talk about, you're connected with a lot of people in the business world and coaching them and developing them to be the best leaders they can be. What do you think is the biggest challenge that holds back entrepreneurs and business leaders today from scaling up their business to lead to growth?
Yeah, two things. I think most entrepreneurs and small business owners don't understand that when you become a business owner or entrepreneur, your craft changes from the thing that you do to becoming a sales and marketing person. Most
Hmm.
people don't understand that your top priority as a business owner is sales and marketing. And if you're not willing to take on that role, you really truly shouldn't be an entrepreneur. The thing that causes 95% of businesses to fail is a lack of profitable sales. It's the fact that they
Right.
just don't have enough cash flow to keep the business going. And that stems back to the manager, the owner's lack of interest or commitment or skill set around sales and marketing. So I would say if you want to really stand out and be a top performing entrepreneur that makes it to high 6 or 7 figures in your business, it's absolutely critical that you seek out education, you seek out resources, you seek out support in learning how to become a stellar marketer. It's so critical to your success and all the other things that you do in business. And no matter how good you are at your quote unquote craft, if you're not good at sales and marketing, no one knows about you and no one can buy from you. So I would say that's the number one thing. And then the number two thing is leadership, understanding the importance of building a winning team. The biggest thing that causes entrepreneurs to burn out and get exhausted and break down and give up ultimately is because they're trying to do too much and they're putting too much pressure on themselves to be everything to everyone instead of really investing and building a winning team around them that can help them to pursue and ultimately achieve their top goals.
No, that's very much true, and I know that especially for the coaching industry, and some of the audience is doing coaching with clients and things like that, and where a lot of it, I know for me, for example, at the end of this year, I had to kind of evaluate my networking strategy. Where did those network opportunities, which ones actually put fruits on the tree, and
Right.
things like that. You have to kind of constantly evaluate it. Is this a good strategy? If you're doing a video on YouTube, is that a good strategy to connect with people and so forth and so on? So I think that's very much valid, and all of us are kind of in a testing and experimenting mode, because we're kind of a solopreneur and we're learning from the business world. I know that I've learned a lot from the hotel business, especially when you talk about sales. I mean, there's constant drive to, because it's
Yeah.
competitive. And so you don't want the neighboring hotel to capture the business. So it's very
Yeah.
competitive, but you're constantly hitting the ground running. And let's transition that, if you will, because I think it's a really good question now, to talk about pricing strategies, because, and there's two things here that I thought about, because when you actually articulate that in your book, and um, there's a question about our own value, our own self-worth, and then whatever we're trying to sell. So no matter what industry you're in, folks, or a product that you're selling, Kelly, talk to us about that mindset that we really need to have in order to be successful in selling our service or product.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things I come across with entrepreneurs all the time in coaching them is, when they first come to me, they're very uncertain about their own value.
Hmm.
They have a lack of confidence in going out and boldly proclaiming how they can help people
Right.
and really pushing as hard as they possibly can to get paid a premium for what they do, which is what they actually deserve. And what I find is that most entrepreneurs have never really sat down and taken the time to evaluate the true value of what they do and what the impact on the buyer is going to be, what the lifetime value to the buyer is going to be.
Hmm.
And when you can compare what you're charging versus the lifetime value of what someone's going to get based on investing that money with you, it's really easy to have a lot of bold, courageous confidence in presenting your offer and marketing it.
Right.
So, I think it's about selling the bottom line result. It's about having courage and confidence, believing in yourself, and quantifying the value of what you do, and realizing that ultimately, if you have any lack of certainty or any lack of confidence in your offer, that is going to, carry directly over to the person or people that you're communicating with. They're going to pick up on that, and it's really going to scare them away, because you always want to align yourself. It's a human need that we have, and a feeling that we have. We want to align ourselves with people that feel certain and feel confident. And if you feel uncertain, the people you're talking to are absolutely not going to have the confidence to want to buy from you or work with you.
Oh, that's great. That's a great suggestion. I think that's where most of us are stuck
Yeah.
sometimes, is to, we know it's kind of like we want the result, but there's a process, a psychology
Yes.
also in getting that result that you can go with it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's great. Walk us through. I know in your book you share 5 keys to high 6 or 7 figure business success. Walk us through that a little briefly here, and so people kind of get the idea of, they want to make sure they're not missing something in that equation. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I think this is one of the things actually that catches people up a lot. And especially I see this even more now with the internet, because all of these tools and resources that we've been given to exemplify and amplify the basic principles of building a business, many times are being confused with replacing the
Hmm.
core elements that make a business successful. And so I always say, if you want to grow faster and you want to have more success, return to the basics. And most people don't have, two, let alone all five of those basic elements in place that they need to be successful. And what are we talking about here? Very simple things: a sales and marketing system, right?
Hmm.
A plan for operations, an infrastructure, meaning that you know and understand all the core pieces that are going to be necessary to build a successful business. We're talking about a product or service and an ability to deliver that effectively and a
Right.
plan for delivering that effectively. And then a follow-up plan to ensure that it's actually meeting the need and meeting the expectations of the customer so that you can upsell and reactivate and increase the lifetime value of the sales that you're making. So, again, it's back to basics. It's core fundamentals. It's sales, it's service, it's operations, it's infrastructure. These are the things on which successful companies are built, and most people are putting the cart before the horse using all
Right.
kinds of technical tools and complicated things, and they don't have these basic fundamentals in place. And so you're not building on a solid foundation that can truly stand the test of time and support the goals that you're trying to achieve.
It's great advice. That's great advice. I think some of us do that often enough. We put the cart before the horse, and then we need to understand that there's a structure. Many of us actually come from other businesses in our lifetime, and so I say go back to those businesses. You notice you were part of that structure. You were part of the policy, the standard operating procedures. There was a whether it was HR, you needed to do some paperwork and whatever it is. I think that that's true to even if you are solopreneur or a small business owner, right?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Kelly, let's finish up. I know I can talk to you all day, but let's finish up with an important questions for many people to think about as they start the year. Is that let's talk about how does one leave a leadership legacy as an entrepreneur, a business owner, or just not just but you're still an executive in the company. How do you do that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the key thing is leaving every person that you come in contact with better than they were when you first came in contact with them.
Hmm.
Every person in any role, in any capacity, has an ability to build a legacy by impacting the people that they come in contact with in a positive way. It's that simple. We can all be building our legacies day by day, hour by hour. When you put out a show like this, you are building your legacy because you're adding value for people and giving them the support and the information and resources that they need to be successful. And so I think building a legacy is all about impacting not only, yourself and your family, but everyone you come in contact with. And it's having a vision and having clarity around what you want to be remembered by when your time is up on the planet, and doing things today that are going to ultimately benefit people years and years from now. And it doesn't matter if you're just getting started or you're currently working for a corporation or you've been in business for years. We all have the ability to make the decision to be a legacy leader starting here and now.
That's great advice, and I hope that people will definitely think about their legacy because it is true. You build your legacy every day, so you don't wait when you're 65 to build your legacy. You want to do it now,
Exactly.
so take action now. So I want to conclude our wonderful video podcast here with Kelly. And Kelly, I'm going to let you kind of conclude here with where people can find you and some of the things that they can connect with you online. You do a lot of amazing things. And again, I'm not trying to sell anything here. This is true. Someone who you want to look up to, especially in the business world. And she has a wonderful family, and she does amazing things. So, Kelly, I'm going to let you speak here for a second about where people can find you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, I would say
Sure.
the number one thing is if you are a person of excellence that wants to go further, faster in accomplishing your goals, tune into Unstoppable Success Radio. I hear from people around the world every single day about how it's changing their life and how it's helping them to accomplish what means most to them. So we're on iTunes, Stitcher, and like 17 other platforms. So just look it up, Unstoppable Success Radio with Kelly Roach. You'll find it somewhere, and just get started listening. You'll start to see the transformation begin. And then, I'd love to offer, anyone listening, if you want to text in the word profit class, that's all one word, profit class to 44222. I very frequently do online workshops, online webinars, business trainings, and, really substantial trainings, no fluff, no BS. This is, giving you the support and the direction and the clarity that you need to take, steps to build rapid growth in your business. So you can join one of those by texting in profit private class, all one word, to 44222. And we're live with one of those classes almost every week. And I always stay on the end and answer questions until everyone that's there feels clear and confident to go forward with the material.
Awesome. Well, guys, this is it for our show today. And I think that you would probably, I'll have to go back and take notes and some of these things because this is really good stuff for you too in the month of December when you're thinking about. And Kelly gives some really substantial, you know, things for you, specifics, because a lot of us are staying at 10,000 feet and we want to come down and think about it, put that in perspective. And so thank you everybody for watching, and I will connect with everyone later this afternoon. So thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, let me go ahead and stop you.